Minister, this budget has been a neutral budget. It's also been a budget that never wastes a good crisis budget. And what was a surplus budget has turned into a deficit budget for the majority of people. It's a budget that has used the spectre of Brexit to fig leaf no real gains for working class people. This is a budget of political choices that has favoured raising carbon taxes rather than taxing the real polluters in society. Minister, a carbon tax was introduced 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And since then, there's been a doubling of the amount of cars on the road. So the idea that carbon tax changes behaviour is absolute rubbish. It's a stealth tax, and it doesn't change behaviour whatsoever. And there is an alternative to carbon tax, and I'll give you one very, very good example. Tax on commercial air fuels in Europe, which I don't think most people know about this stuff, but I'm going to put this on the record. If the tax was on air fuels in Europe, it would reduce emissions without having much effect on the jobs that some of the companies are contained in. If this was levied on airspace, it would generate €900 million per year. And this would be underpinned by legal action to prevent companies passing on this increase to its customers. So this is obviously possible, but there's no political will to do this. Just on the other issue of the minimum wage, the government have deferred the 30% hour increase for workers on the minimum wage. So there's 137,000 workers that earn the minimum wage. Many are women, migrant workers, lone parents as such. But another example of political will, there's no prudence when it comes to extending and keeping tax breaks for senior executives of multinationals. So there's 1,000 executives in this country at the moment that have a special tax arrangement called Special Assignee Relief Programme. Now, 8 of these executives earn salaries between €3 and €10 million. That's obscene, absolutely obscene. And this tax breaks cost the Exchequer €28 million a year. Now, I could go on about loopholes in the budget and tax avoidance that these individuals and companies do, and amounts to a lot of money that could offset carbon tax, a crisis, what we have in housing and so forth. Just on the issue of housing, Minister, I just find it hard to believe that this state has put another €80 million into private landlords. So this, as of next year, €1 billion will be given to private landlords. You couldn't make this stuff up. You really could not make this stuff up. At the moment, landlords are chasing rents to inflationary levels, meaning that they're not looking even for HAP anymore, they're looking for homeless HAP. And this goes over €2,500 per month, and the state is paying that, while lining the pockets of private landlords. It's quite incredible that this is going on, but this is a policy and an ideology of your government. And you're not for changing so far, but that needs to be changed very, very, very quickly. Minister, this country is a very, very wealthy country, and I think this budget compounds the wealth inequality, the crisis that goes on a daily basis in relation to wealth inequality. And this is the budget of the extreme centre. The Taoiseach kind of alluded to the extreme hard left. I kind of find that kind of a bit offensive, I have to say. I'm a socialist. I'm not of the hard left. We are socialists, not kind of a derogatory names by the Taoiseach. So this will be the last Fine Geal budget of this term, but hopefully workers will remember that your party is not a friend of the workers whatsoever.